My time has come, send shivers down my spine, body's aching on. Hey! Well, it's Sunday there, March 7th. Gonna do this one for the June 5th fight between Yuri Foreman and Miguel Cotto. And as you know, first I'll break down the fighters and then I will give my prediction. The first fighter I'm going with is going to be Miguel Cotto, 34-2, with 27 knockouts for a 75% knockout ratio. And as we all know with Cotto, yeah, he's a good puncher. Yeah, he's a good boxer. I mean, all this stuff we know. He looked very well against Mosley and not so well against Pacquiao. The Clottey fight, my apologies, I don't want anybody to, if I get Clottey's name wrong, showed us that he had the heart and the will to want to go through even with the bad cut. He was able to overcome that adversity, and that was good. And then we saw the Pacquiao fight where it seemed like everything was taken away from him and he was destroyed. A physically broken down fighter. His pride and his heart, well, I guess those are two of the same, were the things that kept him in that fight as long as he lasted. So when you start looking at a fighter who's lost 2 of his last 4 fights, both of his losses were like epic beatings. With the Margachito, we know about the hands. With Manny, I'm not touching that right now. He had the losses. You got to take it for what it's worth. And these guys are not light middleweights. They're welterweights. Or lightweights coming up to fight welterweight. So you have to take these things into consideration. Now, he can box. He's a very good boxer. He did very well with Mosley. But as everybody knows, Mosley does not do well with boxers that keep their distance, counterpunch, and throw the punches straight down the pipe, like Cotto did on him. Now, we have to wonder about Cotto's punch resistance. What's left in his tank? Now, I know I've been big on Cotto. I don't think I've ever picked against Cotto. He's one of those few fighters that come around that you want to see do well. He seems like a very nice guy, and a good person in the ring and out of the ring. He's not a dirty fighter. So when you see these things happen, you have to kind of start putting in your, okay, how many punches does he have left? How many punches can he take before he's completely broken down? I mean, those two normally one of those in a career is enough to pretty much end a fighter's career. What happened to him against Margarito should have been enough to, he could have went out on that and nobody would have said anything because he got beat with bricks. So now he's going from a good size welterweight at 5'7" with a 67-inch reach, and he's going up to light middleweight, and he's going to be a small light middleweight, And when you have that, when you're fast and you have the good movement, you're a boxer and stuff like that, that can help you if you're going against a slow plotter, a guy that's not very fast, a guy that, when you're going up in weight, typically you are going to be faster than the guys that are up there. I mean, he has a great left hook. He's left-handed, converted right. So he's got the jab. He's got all that working for him, which is good. The problem is he's stepping up in weight. He went from being a monstrous 140 to a very good size welterweight to a small light middleweight. Now he's got his best chance with Yuri Foreman. This is the best out of the light middleweights. You don't want to see him fighting some of the other ones. That I don't think that would be very. But because of Yuri Foreman's power, he's got a shot. So, stepping over to Yuri Foreman, who's 28-0, only has 8 knockouts for a 27.59% knockout ratio. Doesn't have power. That's the first thing you notice. But the other thing you notice is that he's 5'11", and he's got the 72-inch reach, and he uses his height very well in the ring. This is a very active fighter who uses his movement who, I mean, his hands aren't that great, but you know me, I'm very critical on the D, and I like to see the hands up high. He has, as I said, he has good speed and movement, and he keeps his distance when he fights. He fights aggressive, but it's a cautious aggressive. He doesn't go in unless he knows that he's going to get some shots off. He doesn't take the risks. He's active. He throws a very nice lead right hand. He has good stamina, and he doesn't fade late in fights. When you don't have any power, you better have stamina. You better have something that's going to allow you to throw a lot of punches to keep the guy off of you so you can survive. Okay? And Yuri actually has that. Now, his record isn't the greatest. And I know you're saying, well, he's 28-0. Come on, man. How can he not have a great record? Well, when Daniel Santos and Sal Roman are your two best fighters on your list that you've beaten, your quality of opponents isn't that, top-notch. Now, granted, he won the title from Santos. I'm not saying that he's a bum. I mean, Santos did beat Margarito. And you could say Roman, well, he beat Kasim Uma. But at the same time, his quality of opponents they're not that great. Okay, he doesn't have that pedigree right now. This is his first title defense, and he's going against a much smaller opponent. So when you look at everything, he throws nice combos. He is a boxer, so he is always moving in that ring. He never stops. But you factor in the no power, but he's learned how to fight without it, much like Paulie Malignaggi has learned how to fight without power. These guys just don't have it, so they don't, they've learned. And going into that, after going over all of that, and when you put them together, can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm going to go with Yuri Foreman on this one. I think it'll be a decision. I don't think he'll knock Cotto out, but because he fights big, what I mean by that is he's up, he's using his length, he's using the distance, he can keep his distance and his stamina. I think that's going to pose big problems for a smaller fighter in Cotto. I don't think he'll be able to close the gap very well. I think those, because of the way Yuri Foreman fights, he's a distance fighter. He's a boxer. He keeps you away from him. So, with that, when you're smaller and you have a shorter reach, your punches don't quite get there. You have to get inside. You really have to push the pace. So, in doing that, you're going to take risks. And when you take those risks, Yuri Foreman's the kind of guy, because he's very good at the counterpunching and timing and stuff, that he's going to be able to get in there, pop, 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 and come right back out and keep his distance again. He doesn't let you get inside very often. So, with that, I believe Yuri Foreman takes this by decision. And, I'm sticking to that. I'm not going to waver on it. Still love Cotto. I just don't think he's going to win this one. Okay? Well, hey, it's a Bigragu. I'm out.